In the meantime, let me give you just a quick update on the second assassination attempt. The second assassination attempt. It sounds surreal to say so. As fate would have it, my wife Kelly and I were at Mar-a-Lago to meet with President Trump. We were supposed to meet earlier after the shooting attempt. We joined him immediately thereafter. We spent almost 3 hours with the president. I'll just tell you, and you may have heard my personal reflection on this, he was completely unrattled by the experience. Donald Trump is a strong individual, and he's a strong leader. And I don't think anyone can argue the case that there's been anyone, and certainly in the modern political era, probably throughout our history, who's been so aggressively attacked, and yet he remained so resolute and so committed to keep fighting for the American people. And I was very inspired by that. And I know that we all understand we've got to get down to the bottom of this. The Secret Service has dropped the ball, and it's inexcusable. We have a task force that has been investigating the events of Butler, Pennsylvania. As our conference chair, Lee Stefanik, noted, we're going to expand the scope of the task force to look into the events that happened in Florida on Sunday as well. We have got to get down to the bottom of this. We've got to ensure that this doesn't happen again. If they need additional funding, Congress will supply that. But we're told it's a manpower problem. Even if we gave them $3 billion tomorrow, it's impossible to hire 2,500 new Secret Service agents in a short period of time. We are less than 50 days out from the election. We need Donald Trump to be protected, as any candidate of his stature would be. I called the White House yesterday. I made a demand to the White House, President Biden, supply for President Trump the same degree of protection that a sitting president has. He's a former president. I believe he's going to be the next president, and right now he's a candidate under the greatest threat of any candidate in modern political history. It justifies that level of protection. I think the White House, I hope the White House will see the wisdom in that, and I hope that they'll do everything they can, because the buck stops at the White House in the Oval Office, and President Biden has an obligation of that. Third, and finally, I don't want to reiterate what's been said so clearly and concisely here, but everybody needs to turn down the rhetoric. You just heard the selection of quotes, the threats that have been made by leading Democrats in this country. It is inexcusable and it is dangerous. It is leading people to be triggered. When members of Congress or the nominee for president of the Democratic Party says that President Trump must be eliminated, or that he's a threat to democracy, or they compare him to Hitler, there are people who are unstable, and it makes them do crazy things. This is common sense. Let's apply common sense. Let's have a vigorous debate on the policy differences, on the records, but let's turn the rhetoric down, because we're not going to be able to sustain that.